Well, I'll just say, wow, that's for a religious response. What a day. This could be a historic day. But that's up to us. That's really up to us. So the team asked me to do a call. In my tradition, that's an altar call. Don't worry, I won't ask you to come forward. But this is about going out and what we're going to do. So the team asked me to tell a story. So let me elaborate on one that was already told. Years ago, as I heard it, this kid came to our office today. You're here one day, and then back out. And he expected an appointment, and he didn't make one. I said, okay, what did he want to talk about? Oh, I don't know, we didn't ask. Did he make an appointment? No. Okay. But I came home that night, about 9 o'clock, long day, and this kid is sitting on the stoop of my house. He had figured out where I'd lived, not to be deterred. There's an example there about what it means to be people of faith, not to be deterred. You never have been one ego to be deterred. So, can you give me 10 minutes of your time? I said, sure. It became more than 10 minutes, and we had countless more than 10-minute conversations since that day. Those talks were about the vision for organizations. Then the starting of organizations, the management of staff. Of course, that's always easy. The raising of money. And then they became about the balance between traveling to speak and time to write and being at home to run an organization, which was becoming a movement, I could tell, around the country. And it was always, how does a leader raise up other leaders? That's a big question for our organizations. And then after new and joyous moments, how to be a good husband and father, especially as a public figure. I remember calling Ibu once on Thanksgiving Day just to tell him how thankful I was for him, which became a very emotional conversation. So I'll just say what I most admire about Ibu Patel and most deeply agree with him about is his understanding that just coming together as interfaith leaders and people is important, but it's not enough. Coming together is not enough. Coming together across all these boundaries we've heard so eloquently today of our many faith traditions is indeed good for a better understanding of each other. But the world needs more from us than that. And the God who comes to us in many names also wants more from us than just hanging out together. Coming together is good, but doing what our faiths call us to do and say is better. You heard of the nuns, fastest growing denomination in the country, N-O-N-E-S. They're all in my classes, they're all at our events. They're not against religion. In fact, most believe in God. But they don't see religion saying and doing what even they know it's supposed to say and do. They're looking for us to do what we say. So the world needs our faith, and we must find the courage to act on it, even when that could be risky and costly. Will religion inflame our polarizations? Or will we help put out the fire and calm the waters? I want to say as clearly as I can on this hopefully historic day, religion can block. Religion can be the biggest block to a peaceful, multiracial, multicultural, multi-faith future. We could be the block. Or we could be what enables that to happen. And at our best, we could even lead the way. So, how do we do that? Just a few examples as we close. The crucial global vaccinations that are critically needed now will require interfaith leaders to make that happen all over the world. It will require interfaith leaders. Reversing the dangerous direction of climate change needs our many faith traditions to tell our stories of the creation and what it means to be good stewards of that creation against all the powers of economic interests that will let that happen. With migration and immigration becoming a global way of life now, only the faiths that treat the stranger and the other as neighbors can overcome our human tribalism. With global inequality causing such great suffering and undermining global stability, we all must name our prophets, who all were willing to judge nations and rulers by the way they treated the poorest and most vulnerable. That's our test of them, and we should judge them for it, as all our prophets did. On gender justice, it's real simple. Will religion be for women or against them? Will religion be for women or against them? In a world of conflict and war, weapons and words, will our interfaith leaders be just peace lovers, as we all are, in our statements, our sentiments? We're all peace lovers. But will we be peacemakers, who have been called in my tradition the children of God? Finally, with democracy literally at stake, I'm old, more than any time in my lifetime. Democracy is existentially, literally, practically at stake, and that affects everything we care about. Will the spiritual foundation for a multiracial future in this country be led by those who actually believe that all human beings were made in the image and likeness of God? Do we believe that or not? Voter suppression is literally a throwing away of Imago Dei. That's what it is. And will the battles over things like voting rights become a test not only of our democracy, but also a test of our faith, and will determine the authenticity and future of all our faith communities? I will tell you, the young people that I know and meet at Georgetown and around the country and around the world, they're watching faith leaders. If we don't come down on the side of democracy, they're never going to show up again in any of our congregations. And they shouldn't. So, this world needs our faith, our faith as interfaith people and leaders. And that's also what God requires of us. And we must come together to do that in what Dr. King called the difficult days ahead. The big question for us on this historic day that Ibu has gathered us for is, what will the faith factor be? What will the faith factor be in all the issues that confront us? What will the faith factor be? History will write that down. A new generation of young people will be watching. What will the faith factor be? So the word blessing, of course, means favor and protection. So let us close today with a blessing. A blessing of favor and protection for the Interfaith America we've come to celebrate today. And for the key role that Interfaith America could play at this key time in history. So let us bless Ibu Patel, all the team. You're all over the place today. I'm from the team. I love that. You're here. We are together a team. And let us all, in all our traditions, say amen and amen.